What if I told you that success isn't just about hard work, talent, or luck, but the way you think? That your thoughts, yes, the quiet ones running in the background of your everyday life, are either pulling you closer to your goals or holding you hostage in the same place year after year. Because here's the truth. Successful people don't just act differently. They think differently. And that difference, it's subtle, but it changes everything. Most people don't fail because they're lazy. Fail because they operate on autopilot, trapped in mental patterns that sabotage progress without them even realizing it. If you're not where you want to be in life, chances are your thinking isn't aligned with your ambitions. Not yet, but it can be. Let us dive into the mindset of successful people, the silent architecture behind their achievements, and uncover why most people never even get close. First, successful people think in terms of responsibility, not blame. While the average person looks for something or someone to point the finger at bad timing, unfair circumstances, other people's actions, successful thinkers ask, what can I control? They don't waste time replaying what went wrong or why it's someone else's fault. Instead, they zoom in on the only variable they can truly command themselves. That doesn't mean they ignore injustice or difficulty, but they don't let those things define them. They shift their attention from problem to solution faster than most people can process what just happened. This habit of responsibility rewires how they interpret failure. For most people, failure is a signal to stop, a message that says you're not good enough. But to a successful thinker, failure is simply data. It's feedback. It's a brick they add to the foundation, not a wrecking ball that tears it down. They aren't afraid to look stupid, to try and miss, to hear no. Why? Because they know that action, even imperfect action, creates momentum. And momentum eventually overpowers stagnation. Another major difference lies in how they view time. Most people live in reaction mode, responding to notifications, scrolling feeds, rushing from one task to the next with no clear direction. But successful people are deeply intentional. They don't just fill their schedule, they design their days. Every hour serves a purpose. Even their rest is strategic. They guard their mornings like sacred ground and use that space to anchor their mindset, plan their next moves, or reflect on what's working. That alone puts them miles ahead, because while everyone else is waking up to chaos, they're already playing offense. But it's not just about managing time, it's about how they value it. A successful thinker sees time as the most precious currency. They understand that saying yes to one thing means saying no to something else. So they protect their focus. They say no often, even to good things, if those things don't align with their long-term goals. That's why they can make years of progress in what feels like a short time, because they scatter their energy across distractions. They commit deeply and relentlessly. There's also a quiet, powerful belief humming under the surface. Growth is always possible. Most people operate from a fixed mindset, whether they realize it or not. They believe their abilities, intelligence, or potential are capped, so they play it safe. They avoid challenges that might expose their limitations. They fear looking foolish. But successful people lean into discomfort because they believe it's the gateway to expansion. They don't ask, am I good enough to do this? They ask, how do I become the kind of person who can do this? One question creates fear, the other creates power. Now, let's talk about their internal dialogue. This is where the game is won or lost inside the mind. Average thinkers beat themselves up. They dwell on past mistakes, replay embarrassing moments, question their worth. It's like having a personal bully following them around 24/7. But successful thinkers, they've trained that voice to become a coach, not a critic. That doesn't mean they lie to themselves or pretend everything's perfect. It means they speak to themselves with intention. They use their thoughts to fuel effort, not doubt it. They might say, this is tough, but I've handled worse, or this isn't working yet, but I'll find a way. Words matter, especially the ones no one hears. Another mental habit successful people share is what I call zoomed out vision. While others obsess over short-term gratification, they're playing the long game. They don't need immediate applause. They're not chasing trends or seeking validation with every step. They're building something that matters if it takes years. This gives them an edge. They're less reactive, more grounded because they're anchored in a bigger picture. So when they face setbacks, they don't spiral, they zoom out. They remember why they started. That perspective allows them to keep moving when most would give up. But here's something most people miss. Successful thinkers also question their own assumptions constantly. They know the brain is a master storyteller, and not all stories are true, so they challenge their default beliefs. When their mind says you're not ready, they ask, is that true? Or just fear talking? When it whispers, it's too late, they respond with, says who? This self-awareness is critical, because without it, your mind becomes your jailer. But with it, your mind becomes your greatest tool. Successful people also understand the importance of environment, not just physical, but mental. They curate what they consume, who they spend time with, what ideas they allow into their world. They know that mindset isn't just internal, it's contagious. So they protect their inputs, avoid negativity, gossip, and energy drainers. They seek out challenges, mentors, and people who make them think bigger. Over time, this reshapes what feels normal. And when excellence becomes your new normal, everything changes. Now let's address a hard truth. Most people think success is for someone else, that they don't have the background, connections, resources, or intelligence to make it. But that belief alone is the wall. It's not their circumstances, the belief about their circumstances. That's the difference. Successful people may start from the same place, but they think their way forward. They don't wait for permission. They act as if their vision matters, because to them, it does. So if you're not where you want to be, ask yourself, how are you thinking? Not what are you doing, how are you thinking? Are your thoughts helping you rise or pulling you back into comfort? Are you responding to challenges with curiosity or defeat? Are you feeding your mind like it's your most valuable asset, toward treating it like an afterthought? Success starts inside. It always has. Your brain is your steering wheel, and right now, it's either driving you toward the life you want or keeping you stuck in place. But here's the good news. You can change it. You can retrain your thoughts. You can challenge your beliefs. You can stop thinking like a victim and start thinking like a leader. You can let go of blame and grab hold of responsibility. You can move from fear to action, from doubt to progress, from excuses to execution. It won't happen overnight. No real transformation does. But if you begin to think differently, just 1 degree at a time, start to see everything shift. Decisions will become clearer. Your energy will rise. People will notice. Momentum will build, because you're not just doing different things. You've become a different thinker. And that's when everything starts to change, because successful people aren't born that way. They're made one powerful thought at a time.